Being at a closed business when they're not open is a crime.
What happens when police officers make mistakes, whether it be admin errors or any other, function in their job field? You would think that it would get handled correctly and, fixed immediately. However, with the Warner Robins Police Department, it appears that they don't care that officers make mistakes such as charges and everything, because, hey, you can just argue it at court. All right, so after doing some digging of my own open records here, I've found some very inconsistent things in my information here. So on the arrest report, you can see that he did put that I did have a firearm in there in the arrest report, that there was a firearm found. However, there was not a firearm found. Next goes to my inventory. My inventory was not done of my vehicle. I had cash in there, a laptop, some cameras, stuff like that, some high value dollar item things that were inside my inside my truck, and that was not documented on the inventory. So they failed to do an inventory of my vehicle as well. The incident report makes no sense whatsoever. The caller was the person that I was there investigating, the claimant that I was investigating. That's who called. Basically folded pieces of paper that stated he was a private investigator. That's what the state of Georgia gives us. We print our own license off when it's approved and through the Secretary of State website. And it says I did provide my identification and he confirmed my identity. So therefore, I told him what I was doing. He confirmed my identity, and he was still saying that it was suspicious. I didn't know you need permission from a business to sit there. I know if they tell you to leave, you have to leave, but I didn't know, according to Officer Hall, you need permission in order to sit at a business. So therefore, I guess every time you go into Walmart or something, then you need to have an employee give you permission to enter the store. The caller stated even here he spoke with the person who initially called and said, why would anybody be watching her? And she said her work may be due to her being on workman's compensation. That dispelled any alarm according to the code section that I was charged with. It dispelled any type of concern or anything as to why I was there, since nobody had told me to leave. Hadn't had any contact with anybody. Officer Hall made a statement that he could not find a firearm. And then in the arrest report, he put that I had a firearm.
Okay. So you're saying the report is inaccurate about having a firearm?
Officer Hall lied on the arrest report. Do you see that there's no consistency?
Well, I can see that there were a few admin errors, but I wouldn't say consistency.
But do you realize that these admin errors and these errors affect people's lives?
Well, sir, I understand your concerns, and all I can say is when you go to court, that's where you put your defense up, sir.
Okay, so thinking that this may be only mine or whatever, after looking at his annual review and everything, so I decided to pull another arrest report and from another individual as well, and I'm going to keep his information private and everything. But however, this gets even better and better. Okay, so this was on a different individual here, completely irrelevant to my thing or whatever. But so this is the incident investigation report here. I want you to pay close attention to charge 2 and 3: possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime and possession of a firearm as a felon. I want you to pay real close attention to those charges. All right, so we move into the narrative here. You know, it's Officer Hall writing this again. He was responding to that someone heard gunshots, heard that there were shots fired. So after speaking with some witnesses, attempted to make contact with the person, look what I've highlighted here. I was not able to find a firearm. Another officer, looks like Officer Optis, with his K9 unit, also were unable to locate a firearm. So, no firearm. They didn't. All that was said was somebody thought they may have seen a fire on him or something, or not sure what really is going on here. So, they both stated in this report that neither one of the officers were able to find a firearm. And it gets even better. It gets even better than this. So if we move into the property here, so there was a shell casing, and on the incident report, it says that one of the witnesses found a shell casing, but you know, who's to say that that shell casing came from the subject in this case here. Also, moving to the gunshot residue kit, like, is that or is that not a violation of the Fourth Amendment to swab somebody's person? Unless he gave consent, of course, but that's very interesting to me. There was no firearm found, no ammunition, none of that mentioned in the narrative. However, he got charged with 2 felonies of possession of a firearm and in the commission of possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime. But in the narrative, they could not find a firearm. Way to go again, Officer Hall. Okay, so moving into his FTO training and everything. So it looks like Officer Hall initially failed. He failed initial training. So he had in the FTO program. So he was ordered to do an additional 4 weeks of FTO training. However, when he finally finished his FTO training, it was more like 2 months. So he was ordered to do 4 weeks, but looking at the dates as far as the memos go, he completed it approximately about 2 months later. So he went double for what was initially required of the 4 weeks for remedial training. And looking at everything so far, you can already make a justification as to why he had so much remedial training. All right, when it comes to his only evaluation report, since that's the length of time that he's been here to only have one, you probably can't see this, but I'll read you the actual performance under written communication. So Officer Hall completed 69 incident reports and 12 incident reports for this evaluation period. 33 of these reports were denied due to spelling errors, lack of missing information, poor narrative, and sentence structure. Officer Hall has been called in to meet with supervisor to rewrite his narrative to where the narrative details all the necessary information and is organized. Officer Hall also needs to study the OCGA code sections for appropriate charges. Wow. And this was given last year and he hasn't corrected this yet. And supervisors and lieutenants and sergeants and corporals are still signing off on this stuff. Alrighty, lastly comes, I called the solicitor's office in Warner Robins, and there's actually 2 solicitors there, a male and a female solicitor. I spoke with the male solicitor about this, and you'll be really surprised to hear what he said about this issue and my arrest about what had happened. So here goes.
Williams Law Group.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
Morning, how are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. I got this phone number from the Warner Robins Municipal Court, and the nice lady said that this is the solicitor for municipal charges.
Yes.
Are you an attorney?
Yes, I am.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
Is sitting in front of a closed business a crime?
Well, the only way that it would be is if somebody from the closed business came up and said, I said the only way it might be is if someone came up and who owns the business or whatever and had a complaint about someone sitting in front of their business. And now, if you're on public street, I don't know how you're going to do that. Tell somebody to go. But in any event.
What if nobody asked me to leave said property and the police just rolled up and told me I had to leave?
That's way open. No.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought he couldn't do. You've answered my question, sir.
Well, that's, like I said, I don't think you just get up and go leave. It has to produce some sort of problem. If you get on the other side of it, Russell, and when you're basically being told that you failed to do so, then you have a criminal trespass. But in this case,
I wasn't charged with trespass.
I'm sorry, what?
I wasn't charged with trespass. I was only charged with loitering, which substantiates that nobody from the property made a call or asked me to leave.
Yeah. Understand. Listen, let me pass this on to her, okay?
Okay. All right. I appreciate your time, sir.
Remember if you have other questions. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye. And there we go. One of the solicitors agrees with us. It appears that Officer Hall could not do what he did and was in violation of my rights and was not a legal arrest. It's what it sounds like. With the other subject, it looks like crimes were created on that as well. That's what it appears, that there were some crimes created and fabricated. So I'm interested to know what everybody thinks. Georgia Transparency, out.